I will be listing this card on a platform that I co-founded called Liquid Marketplace. It allows co-ownership of top-tier assets. So instead of one person, me owning this card, we as a collective can co-own it together. I'll be retaining 49% ownership of the card, so I won't actually have access to it. It'll be in our vault. But if I want to wear it out to fights or a Pokemon box break, or maybe even put it in a museum one day, the community can decide if we want.
I recently wrote about Logan Paul's latest run-in, this time with the trading card and Pokemon Communities.in 2022. Logan placed his support behind Pokemon. He was reportedly spending millions on sealed boxes and rare cards, flaunting grails as though they were unimportant, and he wasn't just opening packs for fun. At one time, his role in a well-known card scam made things even more difficult that he eventually partnered with investors and launched the Liquid Marketplace initiative. The pitch seemed futuristic, suggesting that people may buy fractional shares of physical items, like trading cards and sports memorabilia. Allegedly, blockchain technology handled everything in the background to ensure its security and openness. One of the rarest Pokemon cards in existence was a PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator, considered the holy grail of Pokemon collecting. Logan wanted to give this card a 51% partial ownership. Liquid Marketplace has largely lost its importance after a few years. Legal disputes were documented, complaints began to surface, and Logan appeared to gradually withdraw from the project from the outside.
Now you can just buy a token on Liquid Marketplace to own high-value, top-tier assets that you cannot get anywhere else, right? Like these are...
In 2024, he repurchased the card's fractionally owned portion, stating on Twitter that he had done so in compliance with the conditions of the initial agreement, since he had previously positioned himself as the spokesperson for Liquid Marketplace and was closely associated with the organization. Many were shocked when he talked about the platform as if he had only a passing connection to it. People were shocked when he said that he would be working with Ken Golden from the Netflix series King of Collectibles to up for auction that exact Pikachu Illustrator card. The reported deal called for Logan to receive a percentage of the sale as well as a sizable upfront payment. Naturally, internet users began to wonder, what happened to the fractional owners? What about the investors who believed they owned a part of that card together? Others, as Rattle Pokemon on YouTube, speculated that there may have been irregular grading before the card's perfect score, raising doubts about whether it should have received a PSA 10 in the first place. Logan provided an update before the auction ended, indicating that Liquid Marketplace had notified him that unclaimed funds were now available for withdrawal, and he offered a URL to the website, which previously not been accessible.
When we have a high-profile item, an expensive item such as the PSA 10 Illustrator that was a 9 several times before it got a 10, that is not the case, even though this thing clearly is not a 10, in my opinion.
It was mentioned that previous customers may log back in and withdraw their money, although some analysts arguing that the system might not have functioned exactly as many investors had previously envisioned in terms of actual ownership. Over the past month, Logan has heavily promoted the auction with dramatic marketing and high-energy films. He is certainly adept at this, particularly since controversy tends to boost involvement. At the same time, derogatory comments were either removed or prohibited, according to critics. In a since-deleted post celebrating the card's generational run, from Guinness World Records to WWE and Netflix, one commenter raised the issue of fractional ownership, but subsequently claimed they were blocked. For some spectators, it was simple, a huge public celebration with minimal private reaction to criticism. Logan reacted with disbelief when the $12.5 million bid was placed on auction night, stating, "No way, bro." In the end, the card broke the previous world record for the most expensive card ever sold at auction.
I spent $5.3 million on this Pikachu card.
Because Pokemon has outperformed the stock market by 3,000% in the last 20 years.
Meaning this is now worth more than all of these watches, these cars,
And probably this dinosaur.
because it is the only perfect PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator in existence.
And now, I'm letting it go.
This grail is going up for auction on Pokemon's 30th anniversary. The crown jewel of the highest grossing franchise in the world.
Someone is going to own the Guinness World Record-setting card that I hunted for years.
It is the very...
It broke the previous Kobe Bryant card record, making it a historic headline. But that's where the intricacy lies. It appears simple on paper. Investors who believed they owned the money were reportedly able to withdraw their original investment years later. Critics countered that although the card's value increased, money that had been locked up for years couldn't grow or be used in an emergency, citing inflation and opportunity cost. Despite setting a record, a number of commentators thought the outcome was ambiguous and not totally definitive. The hard reality is that criticism can sometimes have no effect on the biggest reward. A peak of wealth that most people will never understand, the celebration looked more like a championship ceremony than a card auction, as cameras panned in as the bidding hit $16.5 million and the winner was revealed on stage.
Current bid on the Illustrator, $12,400,000.
No way. No way. No way. What? No way. No way, bro. No way. No way, bro.
One more bid's new record all time. 12.5 million.
No way, bro.
Ken's whole team.
I think they did it.
We now have the record. The most expensive trading card of all time. $13 million. 20,000.
The desire seems to never stop, even when we talk of family wealth and lifetime stability. More records, more attention, more headlines. When you're cashing the check, the noise outside probably doesn't matter. Two wealthy brothers seem to be enjoying yet another significant triumph. They were discussing movie projects informally, as though it were just another Tuesday, and one of them was sporting a Pokémon onesie. Logan was clearly ecstatic. Receiving $16.5 million for a single card can make anyone happy. But let's be honest, there is nothing novel about spending inherited wealth at auction. It's just luxury at its most lavish. The whole event felt deliberately dramatic, with champagne pouring, cameras flashing, Ken Golden cheering, the ceremonial handoff, and then another Guinness World Record being awarded like a medal. The announcement that former Fractional participants might withdraw their initial investments came years later. During that same webcast, Logan also revealed a new project that is being marketed as the collecting of the future: vault storage, cash-out options, VIP access, RIP packs linked to graded cards, and the merging of digital and physical materials. Is that something you've heard before?
Logan Paul,
Logan, you get it.
Ken Golden,
Yes.
tonight you sold the PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator card for $16,492,000. On behalf of Guinness World Records, I can now confirm you have achieved a new record title for not only for the most expensive Pokemon card ever sold at auction, but also the overall record for the most expensive trading card ever sold at auction.
To put it simply, the organization resembles Fractional Collection. There's even a leaderboard system. Users can refer friends, compete, move up the ranks, and receive greater rewards in order to progress more rapidly. The more people you invite, the higher your status. First, you register for the waitlist. After that, you invite your friends. After that, bonuses are unlocked. I'm not blaming anyone specifically, but the layering of the structure is unnerving to certain observers. Your profile rises with each validated referral. Gathering becomes a competitive and social activity. Ascend the ranks, invite more pals, and display your digital pulls. Depending on who you ask, the first time around, things didn't go as planned. Users access Logan's personal collection, open packs, and chase cards after logging in. Now, I'm not saying that this new platform is the same as Liquid Marketplace. However, anything that appears to be a continuation of a project that has already been the focus of legal action and public outcry would inevitably raise suspicions that skepticism did not appear overnight.
What is up, collector? Rip It is coming soon, and you're gonna want to be first in line. So we're growing our wait list for users to get early access and to give back to the day one collectors who help us grow this thing. Top referrers will climb the leaderboard to get rewarded with things like the holographic pull from this first edition heavy pack, a $30,000 base set unlimited box, and a PSA 9 first edition Lugia valued at roughly $7,000.
Considering the public record, I wouldn't be shocked if problems resurfaced and someone decided to intervene following everything that has already happened. Even younger audiences should understand exactly what they're entering into, especially if they're using a parent's credit card. Even though Logan and his team are clearly working hard, polished marketing, loud launch, terrific energy, the timing feels tone-deaf to others, like celebrating a victory while former comrades still mistrust their share. This morning, Logan made an effort to clarify things by calling the sale historic and thanking Ken Golden, his team, and the Pokémon community. According to ownership statistics, only 5.4% of the Pikachu Illustrator actually sold, costing about $270,000 in 2022, even though up to 51% of it was initially available. According to the conditions of the platform, he then bought it again in May 2024 at the same price, enabling withdrawals. Legally, 5.4% and 51% might be comparable, but if true, they sound extremely different. But that emotionally shifts when the card sells for $16.5 million.
I spent $5.3 million on this Pikachu card because Pokemon has outperformed the stock market by 3,000% in the last 20 years.
Meaning this is now worth more than all of these watches, these cars,
And probably this dinosaur. Because it is the only perfect PSA 10 Pikachu Illustrator in existence. And now, I'm letting it go.
This grail is going up for auction on Pokemon's 30th anniversary. The crown jewel of the highest grossing franchise in the world.
Someone is going to own the Guinness World Record setting card that I hunted for years.
It is the very...
When the value of an asset rises, expectations instantly shift. People think that early contributors should also benefit after seeing $16.5 million, instead of just receiving their initial money back years later. According to others, justice would imply that a person would benefit from an increase if they invested $10,000 and the asset multiplied. Does the law require it? Probably not. But there are times when the moral debate gets heated. According to Logan, customers had a year or so after the repurchase to withdraw, and many did. In order to enable users to retrieve their money and send notifications, he also personally funded the site's restoration after it crashed for uncontrollable reasons. How do you feel about that? If he fulfilled his half of the agreement and only 5.4% was sold, that's one perspective. But when a $16.5 million headline shows up, sentiments change. Remember that the Illustrator wasn't the only asset available on Liquid Marketplace. Perception and trust are important considerations in this case. Personally, I believe that in order to cleanly close out this chapter, it would be powerful if he freely shared some of the thankfulness with the original 5.4% participants. Not essential, but important. What do you think? Was the repurchase reasonable, or should early participants have benefited? Tell me in the space below.